Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 29 until I'm a YouTube millionaire. I was thinking to myself earlier, I woke up just a little bit ago. The question of when it will be your turn, right, to get everything that you had hoped for and dreamt of in your life. So, for starters, it's a matter of perspective. But the number one thing that prevents you from feeling and living within the victory that you have attained in your life thus far, which simply by being alive is a victory, is when expectations are misaligned with reality. So, okay, you didn't become a millionaire and somebody told you, or some really powerful authority told you that that was your life path. That's what was going to happen. Or any number of things. I'm not just saying millionaire. I'm saying getting to space or becoming a humongous real estate tycoon, what have you, having 1,000 kids, spending every moment of your life with your family, all that stuff, right? So, an expectation that you were going to get X thing, but you ended up getting Y thing, and Y thing is still really good, that is what makes us think to ourselves, when is it going to be our turn, right? So, an example of this in my life is when I put in a lot of effort into, let's say, building a YouTube channel, right? And the YouTube channel actually gets success. Say, like the one that I'm working on with my mom, 20,000 plus subscribers. And the expectation, while it might not have been verbally said to us directly, this is the expectation, and it's why people put the amount of effort that they do into building YouTube channels, is that basically you'll get the number of impressions on a video that you have subscribers, plus some. So 20,000 subscribers, 20,000, 25,000 impressions, which leads to about 2,000 to 5,000 views on average. That 2,000 to 5,000 views on average will get you paid somewhere around 20 to, or let's say $50 to $100 per video, if you have about a 15-minute or so video, right? And of course the watch time, blah, 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 you get all that stuff. So that's the expectation. That ends up leading to you making about 10% per month your number of subscribers in dollars. So 20,000 subscribers means about 2,000, maybe 4,000 a month, right? When you make a tenth of that, or even less, expectations do not align with reality. Even though you weren't outwardly, overtly told that by YouTube, that is the expectation, the unspoken one, right? And yet, here I am, because that goalpost has been moved, I feel cheated. And I am cheated, right? Relative to what we should have expected. We are. But I still have a fantastic situation here. I get to spend time with my family, my parents. We travel all the time. Go on cruises. We go to the casinos. We go to Vegas. And my parents, they're both in their 60s, right? So they won't be here forever, and frankly, neither will I. But to make sure that you're spending time with them is of critical importance. And we still do pretty well with all of our sources of income, because we all live together and we, in a way, pool that money together, because I have my own money. My mom has hers, my dad has his. And then we have a couple other family members that are living here, and they're getting this thing called IHSS, which is In-Home Supportive Services, right? For their ailments and whatnot. They get providers. Myself, my mother, and another person in my family that is an IHSS provider, and that money stays in the household. We do what we decide we want to do with it, right? To make the house nicer. The family is together, right? And that's the paramount importance there. And while I wanted to get to space and be very successful in my life, I have been pretty darn successful. I've lived a life up to this point. You could watch a bunch of my past videos where I talk about all the stuff that I've done. You know, I know I might only get one pass with you, so I'll repeat some of it here. You know, Air Force Academy graduate, master's in electrical engineering. I'm a pilot. You know, I've run 18 marathons. I've seen at least 40 of 50 states, somewhere around there. I've been to 5 or 6 different countries, maybe more than that. I'm just not counting it right. Yeah, I've done a lot. Sure, I didn't get to space yet. Sure, I'm not a millionaire yet. But I've lived a life. There's been a lot of good in it. So, but I think that's another taunt that the enemy tries to use against you. There is a clever way you can do that. Moving the goalpost is one of those ways, right? Which has happened consistently throughout my life. And then setting you up in addition to those expectations not meeting reality for comparison to other people who definitely are not as capable as you are, who have gotten much more success. Yeah, that's true. And you can look at the probabilities of this too. The probability of having tried to be successful in something and having the acumen and competency to do so after having tried, let's say, 500 times. Let's say that a single time you try that, the probability is 0.1%. So the odds are after 500 attempts, you will have succeeded in some way, shape, or form. You can do the math, but I'm just using that as an example. And then you see other people who, after the second try, end up becoming multi-billionaires, right? And then you see the 50th percentile of people, the average, right, end up being successful after the first 300 attempts. And here you are on attempt 600, and you still have gotten a tenth of the success of even somebody with half your competence. So you have to try 10 times as hard to get half the result. Whatever, you know. So what is the true victory while you're here on Earth? And what is the true defeat? Well, we all have our own trials, and comparing our traumas is like comparing apples to oranges. All right? It's just the way it is. There are unspoken things that each and every one of us deal with on a day-to-day basis that weigh down on us, cause us to age, and cause us to eventually pass on, right? They're kind of a poison to our psyche and our soul. So, looking at that, the thing that is true failure and true success is whether you maintain the faith. And outwardly, the world is going to make you look like a bad guy if you say that you don't, right? Or if you say that you do. It's going to make you feel horrible. That's the idea, to make you feel horrible. Yeah. See, the stuff that I've dealt with in my life, I mean, it doesn't matter what happens. It's silly. for whatever entity behind the scenes is trying to make me lose faith to try to do this, because it's never gonna happen. I mean, that's like you or me saying that we don't exist. And the simple fact of the matter is, I'm looking at myself right now in my camera. You guys can see me, and I can see many of you. That's stupid. You can't get me to unexist myself. All right? In fact, by all the attacks, all you do is reveal yourself. You try to live in the dark, in the gray area, if you will, so that nobody can see you. Nobody knows you're there. But you are. I know. I see it. You want me to think that the light is not there by being that dark force that pushes somebody down. Well, if there is darkness, there has to be light. If there's light, there has to be darkness. And if there's not enough light in the darkness, then it's incumbent upon you to be that light. If we see existence as being cold and dark, it's because we're not bright enough. So, yeah, the true success or failure in your life is whether you maintain the faith. Go out there and make it better yourself. And the failure is when you say it's not worth it. You know, you're basically saying that existence itself is not worth it. Well, it is. It's worth it. That's all I got for today. Love y'all. Peace.